African, a very, very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D. And Pali, we've got our own new little greeting. Okay, have a look at this. See if you can copy it at home. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo!
Brilliant. Good afternoon, South Africa. With that greeting, we Bluetooth it to you, everyone at home. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday afternoon.
So, schools officially closed today, and of course, the number of cases are climbing each day worldwide. Of course, we're speaking about the coronavirus, and as of this morning, South Africa had 116 confirmed cases of the COVID-19 coronavirus. Now, more than ever, it is so important for each of us to play our part in helping to reduce the spread. Today's show is focused on the immune system and, of course, what we can do to strengthen our immune systems during this time so that should we get sick, we're going to get through it.
Absolutely. Now, last night on Tropika, Island of Treasure Curaçao, emotions reached boiling point as it was the first elimination of the season. My heart definitely goes out to Team Orange. Now, it was yet another episode filled with panic, uneasy moments, spice, and one team had to say goodbye and reached the end of their road. Now, let's take a look at the following clip to see which team's journey came to an end.
Orange. Team Orange, you've shown me pineapple. This means that Team Orange, you are eliminated from Tropika, Island of Treasure Curaçao.
Oh, and there they go. Sadly, Team Orange was eliminated. And joining us now on the couch is Janeske Rademan. And, of course, Bouwer Bosch is joining us live from Johannesburg. Hashtag Team Orange. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Hi, Bouwer. Hoe gaan het met jou? Je lekker ding?
Bouwer praat harder, ek kan jou nie hoor nie.
I can hear him faintly.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, hey,
there
Bouwer,
you go. We've got
hey.
Bouwer. How are you, my darling?
Hey guys,
Oh, Bouwer!
good in you guys. I miss you, Janeske, I miss you.
Ek mis jou.
Oh, shame.
And as we sit here, I mean, I can see the tears welling up in Janeske's eyes.
Stop it, now you're starting something again. And guys, toilet paper is out now, so I can't get that.
But no, these are the
Yeah.
emotions that happen when you are stranded in a desert island with randoms, people you don't know, as consumer contestants. And then you have the celebrity contestants that you love and that you've been looking up to. So I can get the emotions, I get the tears. How was the journey like for you, my love?
So the journey for me, I mean, it was actually being chosen and going through the whole process was such a blessing actually to get the privilege to do the show and compete and meet all these people. And then it was actually such a cool privilege of being in a team with you, Bouwer. And I think that was my highlight, was the fact that I really feel like this is something that, I mean, it's once in a million that you get this opportunity. So I still feel very blessed, but super sad because I didn't want to go home, you know?
Yeah,
I don't think we both didn't want to go
Well, look, it looks like Bouwer is still sitting in Curaçao with such beautiful weather and a glorious pool. But Bouwer, you know, you are so loved, especially in the Afrikaans music market, and you're a comedian, and you've got a beautiful acting career ahead of you. So what was the experience of being on the show like for you?
It was so humbling to be part of this show, just to be in another country for the duration of the shoot, to meet all the other contestants was so awesome. But the one that stood out was obviously Janeske. I couldn't have asked for a better partner. She was stronger than me emotionally and physically. You can see that in all the episodes so far. But it was just great to be part of this, and I could just thank the stars for that I was part of this. Yeah.
Okay, but you're both such amazing people. But what on earth happened last night? Because you guys have got the poorest memories I've ever seen in my entire life. How could you not remember the basic Tropika flavors? Seriously.
So,
Wat gaan daar in daai koppe?
Bouwer, gaan jy begin?
I will take the blame for this one. You know, the problem is in life, you can't be attractive and handsome and beautiful like me and Janeske and be smart at the same time. It's impossible.
So
And
what,
we've
how do
got the
Pali and I
good
do it?
looks. Oh, burn.
Awkward, Bouwer.
No, that was just it was just a brain fart. The pressure got to us, and me and Janeske were very emotional people, so our emotions got too involved in the game, and we couldn't cope.
I mean, hearing you relive this is just taking me right back as if I was on Curaçao, on the island with you. But South Africa fell in love with you guys. You guys were that hilarious couple. You guys were the ones that, took it as champions. And before we move on to the next question, just touching on that humor, I saw the most hilarious video of you two on the @MyTropika Twitter page, where you were presented, or rather pretended to be #Team Cool Red. Let's have a look at this.
Bouwer thought he was Trevor.
Trev, these are looking fabulous. Oh. Nice. You can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, Nadia, yes. All 6 there. I like that filter.
Okay, I take it back because actually, Bouwer, you look pretty hot in a bikini. Not gonna lie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys were there, acting as if you were Nadia and Trevor, but the bonds that you guys did build were real. Spending some time with you guys up in Johannesburg, that camaraderie is still there to this day. You've fallen in love with them. Who have been your biggest competition, and which team did you fall most in love with as well?
Shoo, okay. So,
Biggest comp.
biggest competition, obviously, because the red team, it was between the red team and Mango Peach. It was like, oh, woo. And the thing is, but me and Bouwer, I think, Bouwer, we were pretty strong,
Yeah.
You guys were very funny. That's what I enjoyed about the two of you.
We were
such a good sense.
We were very strong. We were very strong and very funny. But our biggest competitors was ourselves, I think. We lost against ourselves, no one else. We would have won this competition if it wasn't for Bouwer and Janeske.
I love that.
That is so true, Bouwer.
And if you guys could have done one thing different, besides, of course, the memory, Janeske, we saw episode 1. You knew exactly which celebrity contestant you were going for. You gunned straight for Bouwer. From your audition round, did you believe that that was the person you wanted to end up with? And now, being at the end of the journey, looking back, would you still have made the same choice?
Oh, definitely yes. I mean, honestly, everything in life, everything has its tribulations, and like Tropika on the island and the hardships and the challenges, it was difficult. But I must say, if it wasn't for Bouwer, it would have been worse. Actually, having him as a team member made it 110%. So, dankie Bouwer. Even though we had our swakpunte, English word, Bouwer?
Our bad points.
Yeah.
Weakness.
Weaknesses. So we had our weaknesses, and obviously, so me not being able to see very clearly without my glasses, Bouwer was my eyes. So I remember with choosing all the Tropika bottles, doing all the colors. He was like, remember, Janeske, this and this and this. So when it came to pressure, the last bit, I was also just like, whoop. So,
and I was going to ask the same thing right back to Bouwer, if you are brave enough to answer. If you're looking back, to do one thing different?
Yeah, I think our communication could have been better. Our strategy as well. Me and Janeske, we didn't strategize that great in terms of what we wanted to do with the games and what team we went for, especially with the new point system this year. So I think with regards to communication and strategy, that is definitely where one of our weaknesses was. But we had so much fun. It was awesome. I hope the country fell in love with us. We're in love with the country. So maybe there'll be an all-star season in the future, and then we'll be back. Team Laranja.
But just before you go, because I know this coronavirus is definitely affecting musicians and artists alike, I want to know what is your upcoming time looking like? So are you going to be, you're obviously not going to be gigging, so what are you working on and where can people see you and catch you?
Yeah, I'm taking this time, I feel it's important for everyone to take the time out. It feels like there's a global time out to do some introspection, to do some self-care, which is very important. Not everything is about the physical and about the outward appearance. A lot of the stuff has got to do with your mental health and just your emotional stuff. And this is a great time to just self-reflect, get reading, get conversations going. They can't cancel hope, so there'll always be hope. But for me, I'm just gonna start writing again and recording, because that's the stuff I do from home. And then once the quarantine, worldwide quarantine is over, everything can get hopefully back to as it was.
Amazing. Because like yesterday, I know we saw Coldplay, and we saw a couple of artists just doing these free online gigs for all of their fans.
John Legend.
So John Legend did one.
And
a couple of
his
people.
wife in her towel.
In her robe.
So maybe we're gonna be waiting for a free Bouwer gig online.
Definitely.
Thank you so much as well for coming through to chat to us. It was
Awesome.
really, really well. We really enjoyed
having
watching
me.
you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next time, Bouwer, we can have our own show. Team Laranja, let's go.
Definitely.
Well, that is something we're definitely going to pitch. Now, Team Orange, thank you for joining us in studio this afternoon. Your journey on the island might have come to an end, but you've definitely touched a lot of South African hearts.
Now, remember, if you missed #Tropika Island of Treasure Curaçao last night, then you can catch the repeat on Saturday evening at 8 p.m. only on SABC3. Let's take a look at #Team Orange's final moment on Tropika Island of Treasure Curaçao.
It was one of the best experiences ever being part of this year's competition. Met such awesome people, had so much fun. And being on an island which you've never been to is such a privilege. And being on a team with you, Janeske, was awesome.
Yes, cool, Bouwer. I feel like building relationships, maybe that's where we we won.
I got it.
What a solid team, a solid team. Thank you for the entertainment. Oh, I love this show.
I'm just taken back to all those emotions all over again. But after the break, we turn our focus to the immune system and, of course, what you can do during this time of the coronavirus to strengthen your body. Plus, with all the panic shopping and stockpiling going on, we look at ways that you can make the most out of your leftovers in your fridge. See you after these. With your support, we are now able to donate 20,000 pairs of Smart Step school shoes to children in need. Celebrate goodness when you buy a KRUSH. Dial the number on the pack for a chance to win your share of cash prizes and school fees. KRUSH, share the goodness.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I hope that you are having a fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Now, the topic of today's discussion is the immune system. And as of this morning, South Africa had 116 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. So if you or anyone you know shows any symptoms, the best thing that you can do is get tested. But in the attempt to keep viruses at bay, a really strong, healthy immune system is one of the best things that we can do to go and to survive. So we are joined now by physical therapist and trainer Cameron Aberdeen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jean.
It's always such a pleasure having you here. I feel like you are family.
Thank you.
Cam, I mean, I think we are all panicking at this stage, and we shouldn't be. But in terms of staying at home, doing our little, self-isolations and, social distancing, we are at home, we're still looking after our loved ones, we still need to prepare food. What is the best way for us to stay safe within the food around us, the food prep in our fridges, and also when we order food in from outside?
Okay, so if we're talking about how we should be preparing our food.
Yeah.
Now, according to research, the virus can stay on certain surfaces longer than others.
Yeah.
Steel, plastic, wood, etc. So I would encourage everyone to constantly sanitize and wipe down surfaces, especially the surfaces that they're preparing their food on.
Yeah.
Washing hands before, during, and after preparing and touching certain foods.
That should be practiced anyway.
That should be practiced anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just basically reiterating what people already know about common hygiene.
Exactly.
And just maybe enforcing it a little bit more than they normally would.
Yeah.
For example, dropping something on the floor, the 15-second rule doesn't work yet. You got to toss it.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's just being very mindful of what you're touching, what you should be cleaning afterwards, and keeping your family safe.
Yeah, there was actually a meme yesterday saying, now that we've figured out how to wash our hands properly, we're going to go into blocks and colours next. Because it's basic hygiene that we should be
100%.
exercising. Whether or not there's coronaviruses, we should just be, handling it. Then when we get food in from outside places, so what I've been doing, I've been having my groceries delivered to my house, and then sometimes, you get food delivered. How can we exercise caution then?
Okay, so first of all, it's going to be the responsibility of the people preparing the food. Yeah. Now, food workers should be obviously sanitizing, washing their hands while they're preparing, making sure they're practicing hygiene in terms of cough, sneeze, etc. So just basically taking into account everyone else that they're going to be serving the food to.
Sure.
In these restaurants or whatever the case may be, restaurant owners should actually be providing education, knowledge about the virus and about prevention, what the workers should be doing to.
And they
keep
do know that
sanitary.
information. Hey, like health departments, I'm sure.
Everyone does. I mean, there should be. It's not anything that they shouldn't be already enforcing in terms of hygiene, because that's the food industry.
Exactly.
So with that being said, you want to order your food from places that you're kind of comfortable with in terms of what their hygiene standards may be. So you wouldn't just necessarily order from a random place you've never tried before.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that regard, it shouldn't be too much to worry about, because coronavirus cannot survive on food, especially if it's cooked above 60 degrees, according to research.
Okay. Then there's the case of our actual bodies and our immune systems. Are there particular foods and drinks that we should be having during this time to boost our immune system? And are there things that'll actually make your immune system dive bomb?
So we want to be adding in, obviously, organic foods, a lot of organic, fresh foods. It might not be possible because obviously we can't get to the shops and buy fresh produce.
Yeah.
But where we can, a lot of fresh foods that are high in nutrients, antioxidants, things that are actually going to support your immune system, especially during this time. As much as you may not have an illness or be sick, you want to keep your immunity as high as possible.
Do you have any examples? Like for me, for example, and I do this like religiously all the time. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I have a lemon water. So a parboiled, because I can't handle the boiling, but parboiled water with a full lemon squeezed in there. And then I like to do a ginger shot. And then I have more lemon juice afterwards, because I can't handle the ginger shot. But is that really doing something good for my body?
Okay, so in terms of citrus, we all know that citrus is if you're talking immunity, citrus is very high in vitamin C. Okay. So that's the type of foods you want to be adding in. Citrus fruits like your grapefruits, your oranges, clementines, etc. Apart from that, there are other foods that we should be considering, like, for example, a red bell pepper has twice the amount of vitamin C as standard citrus fruit.
Seriously? Only the red one?
Only the red one, to my knowledge. And then Something like broccoli as well, high in vitamins A, C, E, all necessary to boost immunity.
Garlic, legit. That's still good.
100%. Garlic, ginger, you want to add those into your meals as well, just to boost your immunity. And then what you probably didn't think of is adding in extra fat to your diet. So something along the lines of coconut oil. Now, coconut oil
oil, I feel, just saves everything.
I mean, you've seen the memes.
Yeah.
So coconut oil is actually, according to research, an immunomodulator, which means that it can help increase or improve your immunity as well within reasonable amounts. I'm not saying go and eat coconut oil out the tub now, but things like that. Almonds as well, also very high in vitamin E, A.
Speaking about that, though, do you know that I did this thing for a while called coconut pulling? And so what you do is you take like just less than a tablespoon of coconut, you put it in your mouth, and I was doing it like the duration of my shower, is just kind of gargling it. And what it does is it apparently takes all the germs out of your mouth. And like cleans your teeth whiter than white. Bing! So,
well, I mean, it's obvious.
Exactly.
It's been working, if that's okay.
Green tea, still good for you. Caffeine still, coffee caffeine kind of thing still down, and green tea is up.
100% in this case. Green tea is extremely high in antioxidants. So something to add in as well. Various, what can we say?
It's just good for you.
It's just good for you.
Cam, something else that I really need to know, because I've been seeing there's a lot of conversations going on online at the moment. How safe is it for you to go to gyms? Okay,
so ideally in this case, we want to be avoiding densely populated areas. A gym would usually be the case. So with that regard, I would advise probably staying away from a gym. Doesn't mean you have to stop exercising if you are still healthy. But in the case that you...
Steam and saunas and steam baths, absolute no-go zone.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to be in that close proximity to anyone. But in terms of practicing safe hygiene in the gym, if you are, because not all gyms are closed. A lot of gyms are still open. A lot of people are still going to gym. It's just going to be a case of, again, practicing common hygienic purposes. Always carry your sweat towel. Make sure you're wiping down surfaces before you touch them, benches, etc. The gyms often provide cleaning materials to sanitize your equipment and machines after use. And then often hand sanitizer as well can be found in the gym, in some gyms.
Totally. So even wipe down your weights. Spray the weights down with some alcohol.
Wipe everything down if you've used it.
I usually need alcohol after weights, but I mean in a different way. Okay, then what about exercising if you are sick and after you are sick? When do you know when you can start training again?
Okay, so while we are recovering from illness, I would advise not training. At least not training at a very high intensity. So something, for example, like going for a walk outside is not considered high intensity training. Maybe riding a bike on the promenade, not going to do the Argus. Things like that are considered light exercise. You don't want to go into intense bouts of exercise because research shows that it actually suppresses your immune system for about up to 6 hours after your workout. So if you are training really, really hard, even if you are healthy, just expect that, because that's what happens after we train. And that's obviously putting you more at risk. Now, if you are trying to avoid that, I would suggest maybe lightening up your workouts a little bit, not going too intensely. Then, just being mindful of that.
I think it's so important, like the word mindful is just really, really important. And also what's happening now, I know a lot of parks, public pools, all of these places where you would go and exercise alternatively to a gym are now going to be closed. So I think now's a really good time to remember everything that Cam has taught you about exercising at home and stay active at home. I know there's a lot of apps and a lot of YouTube channels, or keep on staying on to Afternoon Express, where we'll bring you some exercises to do from the comfort of your very, very own lounge. Thank you so much for being here and helping us through this time of the COVID. And take care of yourself. We're going to be right back after this.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy, the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Absolutely great advice. Thank you so much, Cam, for all of that. Always dropping jewels on Afternoon Express. Now, from classic spread to classic custard, the Clover Classic range has something to offer for any occasion. So if you are looking for ways to jazz up the leftovers in your fridge because stockpiling has left you dry, then our baby marrow and feta cigars is one to try. Paired with classic mayonnaise, roast tomato dip. Ooh, sounds delicious. This recipe offers a timeless taste and is worth repeating. SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 to get this recipe sent to your device. SMSs cost R1.50 and free SMSs do not apply. Chef Dumi, yes, this looks really, really good.
Yes, and it also is good for your immune system as well. And as Cam has already said, we need vitamin C. We need stuff that's high in vitamins, you know, high in nutrients. And luckily for us, this recipe also is quite high in those in nutrients as well.
Beautiful.
So we're going to get started with our baby marrow, which is one of the main elements of our dish now. So I'm going to ask you just to grill those on the grill for us. And what happens is baby marrow is also high in vitamin C, which is also really good for you. So
I didn't know that.
Well, you get started with that. I'm going to get started with the filling for our zucchini cigars. So what I want to do is, I've got my phyllo pastry over here and I've covered it with a wet towel, a warm damp towel. The reason for that is we don't want it to get dry and crack. So I'm going to leave that in the meantime and then get the rest of my fillings done. We've got over here feta. And the one thing I like about this recipe as well is that a lot of the elements, even though separately, they freeze very well separately, like the phyllo. If you're not using it, you can freeze it. The zucchini, even though it doesn't freeze well, one thing you can do is that if you've got some left over, this is a perfect recipe to use for it.
Very nice. So here we're seeing the baby marrow and the feta being the filling, but essentially at home, you can create whatever filling you want.
You would like.
Make sure, though, that you do use ingredients that are filled with vitamins, filled with nutrients and that calcium and that vitamin C, most importantly, because, you know, these immune systems are trying to fight, but we have to help them too.
Yes, and I think of all the negative stuff that's coming with Corona, the one thing I do love is that we're now focusing a lot on eating foods that are nutrient high.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about this classic range, especially the classic mayo, is that it's high in 10 vitamins. So that's one of the best things about this, is that everything that we're trying to put into our recipes now, we're trying to make sure that we make it vitamin rich, which is really great. Corona, yes, I see you, but thank you for making us take better care of ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you're playing like a gambling game, you have to risk it all.
Yeah.
And here I'm glad that we're putting our bets in for ingredients that make sure that it packs that power punch. And also it's perfect to use whether you're baking, whether you're cooking, and essentially almost anything that you're doing in this kitchen.
Yeah.
This classic mayonnaise has you sorted.
Basically, yeah. So what I'm going to ask you to do as well, as part of our recipes, that we've got the roasted tomato dip. So I can ask you just to put those in there, perfect, and then get some olive oil on there, and then add some garlic as well as thyme. The reason we're leaving the garlic whole again is because we want to make sure that we get that flavor from it, but we don't necessarily want to have the strong garlic flavor, garlic taste in the actual dip itself.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to borrow your knife here, just to put these, you know, kind of take off all the aromatics here to add it to this dish, because I want to make sure...
We're going to take it out anyway, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh,
just pull it out of the rest of the...
Easy peasy. I love it, making my life so easy here in the kitchen. But, you know, now that everyone does have the time at home to make sure that they're preparing their foods, one thing that I also learned about eating healthy and staying on the health train is don't eat out of desperation.
Yes.
Plan ahead. Don't eat when you're starving, because then you'll take almost anything.
Of course, you are correct in saying that. So what we've done now is I've added some eggs as well as breadcrumbs, as well as some sunflower seeds into our cigars, because the whole reason, like we said, we're trying to make sure our foods are high in nutrients. And sunflower seeds are also high in a vitamin that actually is fat soluble, which is vitamin E. What that means is that it needs fat to be absorbed into the system, meaning that as much as we're taking care of ourselves and eating lots of vitamins, we need them to be perfectly absorbed into our systems.
Beautiful.
So that's really, it's great to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies in that way.
That sounds really, really good, Dumi. And more than anything is that you've done your research, so we can make sure that what she's saying is legit. It's too legit to quit. So right now you've put that in the...
Yes, so I'm just going to brush it over with some oil and then some sunflower seeds on top. This goes into the oven to bake. Okay. And then you can just mix in a bowl over there. You can just put these into that small bowl with some mayo and some and some rocket, and that's our dip ready. Because tomatoes are high in umami, we don't add additional salt to that, and that's perfect. It's just gonna get all the additional flavor from the rocket as well as from the mayonnaise as well.
Nice, I love that. This is going to be definitely flavorful, filling, and good for the entire family to try. This dip is coming through with all the things that we need here. It looks
It's high in flavor, it's tangy, it's full of nutrients. You're doing a good job.
Yes! And you know, one thing that I love about different dips is that, okay, fine, we're using a tomato dip here, but essentially you can use any dip, just as long as it's coupled with some Clover Classic, you're good.
I agree, 100% agree with that. Just add some classic to it and everything tastes much better.
Perfect, and these come out looking golden brown.
And
that
there we go.
phyllo pastry is ready to be enjoyed.
And you can just cut it up into little cigars, and that is your recipe done. And we can enjoy.
Yeah, I love busyness in the kitchen. You know, if a kitchen's not busy, it's as if nothing's happened. So I love this. I'm going to be asking you, Dumi, just to cut up the phyllo pastry here and plate whilst I give our viewers the incredible keyword that they need to use and send through to make sure that they get this recipe. So SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 to get this recipe. But in case you need to see how this is made one more time, watch this.
Made with love by Clover.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
So in this time that we are self-isolating or social distancing or working from home, it is still important to keep fit and healthy. So after the break, we're going to be looking at ways to avoid causing injuries. I know I've got a friend who's at home with 3 children, all under the age of 6. She wants to pull her hair out already. So she's definitely going to be needing this next insert.
Next time on Tropika Island of Treasure Curaçao, the competition takes an unexpected twist. The top 5 finishers in this challenge will have an unprecedented opportunity to choose a new teammate.
This entire game is going to change.
It makes no sense.
I just want this to be over with. We can't feel sorry for you.
Tropika Island of Treasure Curaçao, Tuesday evenings at 7:30. Repeat Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on SABC3.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I trust that you're having a fantastic afternoon. Now, keeping fit and training is great for our health, and keeping us in shape is also really, really good for you. It's good for your heart, it's good for your mind, but it also comes with its risks. It doesn't matter how old you are or how fit you are, a workout injury can happen to anyone, especially during this time while many of us are self-isolating or working out at home. But with the right precautions and warm-ups, you can greatly reduce the chances of injury. So we're chatting now to physiotherapist Wimpie van der Meijden on how we can prevent these injuries from happening and what to do in case they do. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming through to us. I did this incredible thing a couple of months ago. I went and I did one of those DNA tests that tell you so much about your body. And one thing that came up, it said, I am prone to injury. Obviously, I'm so clumsy, but I heal very quickly. So, I mean, I thought that was quite amazing that that can be something that is embedded in your DNA. So why do we get injuries?
So most of us get injuries because, let's say, for instance, you are training or you're doing certain exercises, and what you need to improve or strengthen, you need to overload your body. So if that is a runner, you want to do 5 kilometers, and then you want to do 10, and then you want to do 11 or 21 or a marathon. And what we do as people is we go too aggressively with our overloading. Okay. So when I say overloading, overloading is when you put external stresses on your body or on your muscles and your joints. Yeah. And that stresses is exactly that. I start running for the first time 5 kilometers, my body isn't used to it, that is a stressor or that's overloading. Yeah. But that's how I progress. So that's not essentially a wrong thing to do. Yeah. That's the one thing that's the one way that you can actually progress. The problem comes in is when we're too aggressive with that overloading.
Okay. Well, I wish that I could start with a 5 kilometer run. That would be my goal. But, I mean, is there such a thing then as overtraining? Can you really hurt yourself by training too much?
Absolutely. Your muscles are designed to do a certain amount of work, and that depends on your fitness level. And if you go past that, your body needs time to heal or to recover. So recovery has become a very essential part in the fitness industry of late. It's very popular overseas specifically, and it's actually coming more and more into South Africa, is how you recover. What's your active recovery methods? Yeah.
What are the best active recovery methods?
Sure, we're heading way off physio, but there's a lot of ways of doing that.
Yeah.
There's
like Epsom salt baths and stuff like that.
Your magnesium salt baths are one of them. Then you get your cryotherapy or your ice baths that some people believe in. Of late, compression boots and attire, that's a new thing to come in. At the end of the day, sleep is the most important. So your body needs sleep. So if you do one thing, and the easiest thing and the cheapest thing to do is get in your 6 to 8 hours a day.
You've literally just made my day by telling that I can do very easily. What are the common causes for injury?
So the most common causes of injury is, as I said, overloading, doing too much too quickly, bad posture is another thing, or bad technique if you're training weights, etc. So bad techniques. All of that normally plays a role and causes most of the injuries. So too much load too quickly.
Okay. And do injuries change according to your age? Like I know I'm not getting older. I'm like doing the opposite of aging. But as you age,
stagnant all the way.
Yeah, I'm the same age every year. But as you age, do the types of injuries that you get change?
So age does plays a big role. Your body changes after a certain amount of age. So the first thing where injuries can become more prevalent will be anybody above 35 years of age. So anybody above 35 years of age, those people have a decrease in elasticity in the body naturally. So they will be more prevalent to anyone else that's younger. Okay. And the older you get, the less elasticity you have. You can combat that by doing dynamic stretches, mobility drills, keeping fit.
Yeah, what gives you elasticity in your body? Like, are there supplements we can take, or any things that you can take to create more elasticity?
Definitely, there is supplements you can take. Not my field, so I'll be lying if I tell you what. Yeah. But keeping your body under stresses and loads and stretching, doing mobility drills, training your body to keep your elasticity for as long as possible. That's all that you need to do to prevent a lot of injuries while aging, if I can say that like that.
So what should people be cognizant of when they're training at home now and they can't get out and they, I think they've just got to do things as carefully as possible, or how should people be warming up and cooling down to try and get their bodies as elastic as possible so that they don't get hurt? Like,
yes. So the first thing I would do is a good warm up. So before you do any exercise or any training, you need to warm up. That can be a couple of squats, 10 or 20 squats, depending on if you're training legs or you're going to run or doing something like that. But you need the muscles to be warm before you start. If a muscle is warm, it's looser, it can activate easier. And then the other thing is dynamic stretches. So stretches has been a big topic over the years. There's a lot of ways and techniques to stretch. Dynamic stretching is what you do before training. Static stretching is what you do after training.
What's the difference between dynamic and static?
Good, I'm glad you asked. So dynamic stretching...
I'll ask all the good questions, I told you.
So dynamic stretching is when I move a muscle through my range of motion.
Okay, can you show us the differences?
Big difference. All right.
Okay.
So dynamic stretch would be, for instance, you've got a skirt on, so you're not going to do
I can
hamstrings.
handle.
Oh, wow.
Like that. So the hamstring string stretch.
Okay, so I would rather do a swing or a range of motion movement. So if I wanted to do, I would try to touch my hand. So I'd kick up and backwards. I'm moving my leg through its range of motion.
Okay.
Giving my hamstrings.
That's dynamic.
That is dynamic.
Okay.
So movement through
so
stretching.
Moving like...
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a stretch as I swing it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if I want to wake my arms up, I would do that. Or a nice big roll. You can do a nice big roll. Yeah, a couple of
I love stretching.
Great. Perfect.
So that's
dynamic. That's what you do before.
That's in the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Static stretches would be the old school way that we all did at school, where we would hold a stretch for 10 seconds, relax, do another stretch.
Okay.
So what you normally want to do is stretch 30 seconds 3 times, and then move over to the next muscle you want to stretch. That's your static stretches, and that will keep you loose after a rigorous training event.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. You were a great, great source of information. And you're so lucky that there's coronavirus, because my neck is so stiff. I would have asked you to click it out and physio it out for me. But thank you very much for being here. You were a great source of info. Now, exercise injuries are never fun to deal with, especially when in pain and, of course, not being able to be physically active. Now, remember to take the precautionary steps to avoid injuries, and in serious cases, please do visit a medical professional or a fabulous physio such as this, who can assist you in how to best relieve the pain that you are suffering from.
I wonder how you can stretch your fingers or your mouth muscles, because after the break, we're back in the kitchen with Chef Dumi, as she's got a healthy, immune-boosting lunch recipe that is jam-packed with vitamins and minerals. See you after these.
Find your smooth fortune with Tropika. Buy a Tropika, follow the entry details on the pack, and stand a chance to win your share of 1 million rand in prizes, such as a trip for 2 with KLM to Amsterdam, LG G8X cell phones, LG TVs and dishwashers, guest vouchers, guest watches and accessories, plus the smooth grand prize of a Suzuki Ignis. The more Tropika you buy, the more chances you have to win. Tropika. Nothing smoother.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I hope that you're having a wonderful afternoon with us. Now, Woolworths have always been the front runner with good quality and innovative eating solutions. At the moment, it is good to look after our bodies from the outside, but good health starts with what you eat. And of course, today, Chef Chumi is going to share her immune-boosting Bouwer bowls with us, which are so absolutely delicious. And surely you've seen how amazing Chumi is looking lately. I mean, it's because of these amazing Bouwer bowls. So all you need to do is SMS the keyword Woolworths to 33650, and we'll send you the recipe and the ingredients list. And of course, SMSs are only R1.50 each. Free SMSs do not apply, but this recipe is totally worth it. Chumi, you are looking amazing.
Thank you.
And it's because of this low carb, high protein, super healthy, eating a rainbow kind of Bouwer bowl.
Yes, really we have. Nice. You remember we went on a pact and we decided we're going to attack this summer body and make sure it comes.
Yes, but I saw you with takeaways the other day, and then I had bread this morning. So
yeah,
I mean, we're cheating on each other, but it's fine. We're going through hard times.
I was taking it away from me.
Yeah. So we are going through hard times. So we're allowed a little cheat, a little thing slip every now and then.
So much going on in this world. A little takeaway wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
So we're getting started here. We're going to make a Bouwer bowl. This is honey, yes.
Okay.
It's also very high in antioxidants, so just so we remember we're still on that health tip.
Yeah,
so we're making sure that all our recipes nowadays are, well, not all, but yeah, most of them are very high in nutrients and vitamins and so forth. So what we're doing now is we're going to be marinating our chicken, which is going to go into the oven to bake. Because also another thing we have to remember is that even though we're putting nutrients and vitamins into our foods, we also have to be careful of the way we cook the food so that we can get as much of the nutrients from the actual food.
Okay, so can you overcook something that'll take all of the value out of it?
Basically, yes. So things like broccoli, we're about to cook broccoli right now.
Yeah.
So once you overcook it, you're basically killing all the nutrients in there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how I love to make these like healthy soups? When I make my healthy green soups, I mustn't boil it too much.
Not at all. I would even prefer for you not to boil. I'd say maybe poach it, steam.
Really?
Rather.
And then mush it together? I like it mushed. It goes down easy.
I like my veggies crunchy, so if that works for you, if it still tastes good, because I've also noticed that a lot of times when you overcook the food, you lose the actual flavor of that food.
Okay.
The only flavor you end up getting is your spices and all of that, which literally defeats the purpose.
I'm telling you, by the end of this year, I'm going to be a little chef. Okay, so you've got your what?
I've just put some lemon slices at the bottom of our baking dish now. I've topped it with the chicken that we're going to be baking in the oven and a marinade of olive oil, honey, and some lemon juice. So this is going to go into the oven to bake. We're going to bake it for at least 20 minutes.
And why baking instead of sticking it on top of on the grill?
Because another thing is we want to maintain as much of the nutrients, like we said.
Okay, so that's baking.
Yeah, so you're basically just locking in that flavor, which is, in essence, the grilling part. The grilling and the baking would serve a similar purpose because we're not frying it in lots of oil.
Look how good that looks.
It looks delicious, right? So what I'm going to do... What I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to ask you to get started with our dressing for the quinoa. So I'm going to ask you to just mix in our olive oil, lemon juice and honey, just staying on that high vitamin C content.
Yeah. This whole thing of lemon juice?
Not all of it, just a little bit, because it's literally just going to be the dressing for our... For this.
So there's lemon juice, olive oil, and this is honey.
Some honey as well.
And you know what I like to throw in as well, which I find always really, really nice, is a little bit of mustard.
Yes, that you could also do that as well, because it adds a lot of flavour to the dressing.
And actually, these juices are, I swear by them, I live with them, they are absolutely incredible. My favourite is the activated charcoal. The ginger one also I love, but I like the big one of the ginger because I could drink it all day.
I know, I understand.
And you can throw some of those in here as well for a little bit of flavour if you need that acidity.
Yeah.
Can I throw ginger in here? Is that where...
The ginger actually goes in there. I just wanted you to get all that liquids in first, and then you can just take a teaspoon of the ginger in there, because like we're saying, we're trying to make sure we're getting as much of vitamin C packed into our dish. Yeah. So we've got the broccoli that's high in vitamins, we've got the spinach, all these ingredients that are here are actually good for the immune system because they're high in nutrients, high in vitamins. I mean, we spoke earlier on about vitamin E, which is in nuts and a lot of nuts and so forth. So that's a fat-soluble vitamin. So what it does, it helps absorb all the vitamins. So you eat all these vitamins and you need a chemical, something that'll help actually absorb all of this into our body. Yeah. So that's what we're about to do right now. I'll ask you just to pass me that bowl and let's assemble this beautiful little Bouwer bowl. I don't know if you've heard why it's called a Buddha ball, but because
why is it called a Buddha ball?
The belly of the Buddha being round and all of that.
Yes, but I want the flattest belly in the world after eating these Buddha balls.
I know, and that's you should be able to have one because of all the nutrients that have these.
Stunning.
These ingredients are so low calorie, so you literally would be getting all the.
Girl, you are killing it. This is amazing. Oh, now this immune boosting dish is just so beautiful. It's got so much color. I'm definitely going to give this recipe a go tonight. Can't wait. And if you are with me on this, then you also going to have to give it a try. All you need to do is SMS the keyword Woolworths to 33650 and we'll send you the recipe and the ingredients list. SMSs are only R1.50 and free SMSs do not apply. Go and get it. Yum.
Now, after the break, we're back on the couch with our fitness and health experts. So if you've got any questions regarding training, fitness, or what you can do to boost up your immune system, head over to our social media platforms and use the hashtag Afternoon Express so we can find all of your comments. But see you after this final commercial break. Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and I hope that you've been paying attention throughout the show because, Jeannie, the conversations that you've been having, girl, definitely important
really
right
great.
now. Yeah,
very,
I love it.
cool.
In fact, is Cameron still around? I would like Cameron to come through and come have a seat here because Cam... Okay, he's acting hardcore. That's cool, that's cool.
I have to tell you, though, because, there's obviously full panic everywhere. People are panic buying, which, please, still you shouldn't be doing. Because of all this conversation about corona, it's everywhere. It's on our phones. You can't help but to have conversations about it. So now I've been overthinking it and now starting to cough, where I don't even have a cough. I'm, like, panicking about it.
Oh, my goodness, Jeannie. I thought I was the only one that's having, like, placebo symptoms.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night, like actually worried about, am I okay? And like
it's
having
quite
anxiety.
Interesting because you live quite a healthy life. You make sure that you have all of your checkups throughout your life in general. She doesn't wait like me once or twice a year. No, Jeannie's like every single week. But how have you found a shift in your lifestyle? Have you found a shift?
So what I've been doing actually is the social distancing. So I literally am at home, isolated all the time on my own, unless I come to studio, which has obviously been disinfected. We get sprayed down from the minute we walk in here. Everybody in here is sprayed all the time. I have contact, well, not actually physical contact with anybody. And then I go home. I really don't enjoy not having physical contact with people because I'm so touchy and I'm so social. I know there's a lot of people in my life that have gone like the social distancing, this is just my life.
Yeah.
But I am extremely social, so I am taking...
I actually saw that with Janeske
but anyway,
as well.
it's time for us to go. We'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, good night and God bless.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.